Just wanted to do a quick update on TTOO. So we talked about a potential correction. We're looking here at the 4-hour RSI real quick. We haven't got a bounce yet, but we're right on this trend line where we have bounced in the past in the 4-hour. We take a look at this 1-hour time frame real quick. I actually moved this bull flag down a little bit. And this pattern that we were in that I was kind of expecting a breakout, but as soon as we broke below here, it looked like it was going to have a breakdown. So if we take a measured move here real quick of the breakdown of this, it comes right down to exactly where we fell, 169. I wish I brought this up in the video yesterday for potential downsides, but that's kind of what we did. So in order to maintain this, we broke below this 188 level, which was kind of where we would have a stop loss if we were in this pattern playing this. But I still believe that this is in some type of bull flag, and it's done this many times in the past. So if we look here, and we do continue trending in here, as long as we don't break below this 167, 66 area, where I kind of expected it to come down to, anyway, 166 retest. Which we still could, because look at the RSI. We still have a little room to go down on this hourly, but I did make another purchase around 169, and I'm still pretty good on my average. And if this does hold, and looking at the 30-minute, we're starting to roll over a little bit. On the 15-minute, we're rolling over a little bit. But if we do continue down here, then 166 would probably be another potential. That we have to be careful on that. If it comes below that 166 level, as far as purchasing, you might be able to get it lower. This correction was overdue, like we talked about in the past in the videos. We had that red TD9 flash. So if we do, maintain this, then that's not going to be a bad sign. If we do break through this trend line here on the daily, we have a little more room. We could come down as well. Depending on where your average is, you could buy these dips at 169, or you could wait a little bit and see if it'll come down to this 161 level, I guess, would be the next dip down. I'm not too worried about this just yet. I'd like to see some type of bottoming candlestick. So we got the 3 black crows there on the 15 minutes. Not too big of a deal. So we could have a little bit more downside if we decide to break this 169, or 167 would be the breakdown further. I guess if we took a measured move of this breakdown of this, it would be heading down a little further. We're still bullish in this thing, even if we do get some correction, but that would be a pretty big correction. I don't think I want to see it break below 130. I have a stop loss around 130, so I have a stop loss, I think, around if this was to break all the way down here, my stop loss would be hit. So I'm probably going to put my stop loss probably around 142 just to lock in some more gains. And if I get stopped out there, that's perfectly fine. And then I would re-enter somewhere around 126, and that would be kind of like a retest of this whole overall pattern. And I don't think that would be bearish whatsoever. Sometimes this shit happens. People sell the news. So I don't think we're going to drop that low, so I wouldn't be too afraid. But if you are playing this, your stop loss would have to be right around 166, 165 probably would be the safest stop loss point in case it wicks below. But if we do eventually end up breaking out of this, then we have good upside. If this is like a full bull flag here, whoop, come on, give it to me. Your breakout, depending on when this happens, we're looking at, like we talked about the other day, around almost 240. So I'm still expecting it to hit that 240. I'm not too worried about this. If you look at this daily RSI, most of the time stuff doesn't just come straight down and just completely collapse. And if it did, then it would probably do something like this. But if it does, I think it would end up at least doing something like that. And then, maybe coming down later on. But we'll have to just watch this thing. Like I said, stop losses at like 165, 164 if you're doing short-term trading. If you're doing long-term trading and you don't give a shit, then, you know, maybe just put a stop loss somewhere in this 126 level, I guess. We don't really want to break back in here at 141, so I don't know. I guess it's up to your own risk to reward here. I'm in a lot of freaking profit, so if I have to take some off the table, I'll happily, you know, set my stop loss a little bit lower just to save my own ass. Somewhere in the 142 range. I don't think it's going to come down there, but we'll see what happens. I think this is going to be good. I like the corrections. I want these corrections because if we keep moving up continuously, then and with no corrections, then we're not going to be able to move up to $8 or any of those bigger amounts that I'd like to hit. So let's keep an eye on this 169 level to hold. And, you know, we still have some more room on this RSI to go. So even with these, this is on the weekly, even with these small corrections, it's really not a big deal at all. So don't get too fearful here. We did have some breakdown, but that's perfectly fine. I think we're just doing exactly what we've been doing in all of this. You know, look at this. We create bull flags right here. We wick all the way to the bottom, retest. We buy back up, come down a little lower, then we break out. Then we do the same thing. We get up to the top, test it a few times, we break all the way back down, get bought up, bottom out, move back up, break out. Now we're doing kind of similar to the same thing that happened over here. Big wick down, bought back up. Let's see if this can maintain and hold what we're doing here, and everything will be just fine. This is just kind of giving us our good support and resistance area. If this holds here, then now we know where our support and resistance is. And then it could bounce potentially in here for a little while while the RSI resets and then blast out to bigger, higher targets. So this is just a little tiny speed bump, but it's resetting the RSI, and I like to see that. And if we do get a bounce somewhere around here, we're going to have bullish divergence because this dip here, as we just got, is already right here, lower than this left side here. And if you look over here, this is the low on that RSI that showed, and this would be bullish divergence if we can hold this level. So it's not a bad sign. Just giving this quick update because I just saw this on the charts and I don't want anyone getting too afraid. So no worries. We're still good. Just keep buying the dips if you'd like, or, you know, hold it and wait and see what happens. And if you didn't get in on this yet, you might have a good chance to get in right now. So, you know, keep this in mind, 169 area. If it breaks below that, below 166, we could come down to 161. We're still going to be good. And then from there, we'll just keep analyzing. All right, guys, it's a quick update.